Well, it does make me laugh when people do feel the pinch, but they've got Sky TV, they smoke, they drink.
Cancel Netflix, cancel your subscription.
You're going to have to be earning 60, 70,000 pounds.
I work in finance.
Do you work in Canary Wharf or are you just here for
I actually work in the city.
Yeah, I work in technology in the bank.
Yeah, I work in finance as well. I work in the building behind.
But do I like my job? No, I prefer to be in academia, but it doesn't pay.
Do you guys enjoy working in finance?
Yes.
Obviously, London's getting more expensive. It's expensive to stay anyway.
Yeah, it is.
What would you think would be kind of the minimum amount you earn to kind of enjoy London?
Probably a package around 80 or 90,000.
80,000 if you're single.
You're going to have to be earning 60, 70,000 pounds.
Probably even 80,000 might not cut it because I also want to save as well for like future and stuff. So I think like minimum of like 100 should be there.
These days, I'd say probably £50,000 a year is probably will give you enough disposable income to be able to enjoy yourself as well as cover your general expenses.
Have you had to make any sacrifices in your life to do cost of living?
Listen, I don't know badly.
Already trying to sort of cut back a bit anyway. I've got a wedding coming up on this year. So.
That's maybe a different cost of living crisis.
Exactly, yeah.
The size of Twix is like half the size it was 2 years ago, for twice the price.
I just managed to secure a flat, and it's a one-bed flat in Canary Wharf, and it's $2,400 a month, which is just mad.
We're not going abroad, which is very much a first world problem, but it is our problem.
Actually, I just put an offer in for a flat, but I've been working for a couple of years.
Congratulations.
So that's how I saved. But my mom has paid, I'd say, 60% of my deposit.
Okay.
I think my electricity bill went up by about 2/3. It was ridiculous. So yeah, because so many bills went up, I had to leave.
Is there anything you think people who are feeling the pinch, do you think there's anything they could be doing to
Well,
offset
it does make me laugh when people do feel the pinch, but they've got Sky TV, they smoke, they drink. I don't mind everyone having a drink or whatever, but Sky.
Cancel Netflix, cancel your subscriptions. I used to pay for a gin membership, so every 3 months I'd get like a gin box sent to me in the mail, just because I like gin, not an alcoholic.
The classic advice kind of given to young people is give up avocado and toast, give up Netflix, give up Spotify. Yeah. What do you make of stuff like that?
It's pretty short-sighted. I think it's very easy for older generations to point to the younger generation and say we should need to give up this, this and this, but the fact is our cost of living is considerably higher and wages, comparative to wages, is a lot lower, and living costs and rent and certainly housing prices are considerably higher than they have to deal with. So it's easy for them to say, but unfortunately it's not quite that easy, is it?
I don't think people should stop living life the way they want to live their life because of like the prices going up.
I think it's advice given by people who don't feel any of the effects of the cost of living crisis. It's an easy thing to say, it's an easy headline to make as well. I mean, giving up your £9 Netflix subscription, it's not going to make a difference to your £200 petrol bill in your car. It's not going to make a difference to your, £300 food shop. It's just easy advice to flippantly give.
I always say it is what it is until it isn't, and I think right now it is what it is, but I always think one day, I think of my future and I think one day it will be better. That's what I think.
Do you think that either of the Tory candidates to be Prime Minister will be able to deal with this?
I think Rishi Sunak had the opportunity to do so. I don't know how much he was restricted by the government that he was working with, that he was part of, that he is part of.
The government's been asked to give people money, which they did during the pandemic, and that, I guess that was the right thing to do. I don't think the right thing to do was shut down the economy because of the pandemic at all. Just a lot of political errors, and we're paying the price for it now. It's virtually we've got a war debt, and I think, if you want to get political, I think Liz Truss is correct. We should treat it like a war debt and pay it off over 30 years and stop trying to pay it off like Sunak says in 5 years by taxing us to death.
Liz Truss feels like a continuation of the government that was already in place. She was part of the cabinet. She didn't resign, so it feels like we'll just carry on, much the same vein we were in before. Whether or not she has the ability or know-how to change anything remains to be seen. But I am dubious.
Do you back Truss over Sunak then?
Yeah.
Would you vote for Liz Truss in
Yeah.
the next election? What have you had to make any kind of lifestyle changes, cut back on anything?
Not yet, but we will do. I mean, eventually it will be, look, I'm not probably saving anything on a month-to-month basis now. So after a while, that could get concerning. I imagine it's still going to get worse over the next 6 to 9 months. So there will definitely be cutbacks at some point.
Not at the moment, only because I don't have to pay bills.
Oh.
So my sister and I have a flat and we rent it and we pay the mortgage, but my sister's fiance pays for the bills. So I'm actually slightly isolated from the increasing costs at the moment.
No, that's a good deal.
Works out in my favour for sure.
For people who are perhaps on an average, below average wage, with like price of food skyrocketing, gas going up,
It's
etc.
horrible, of course. I can imagine. Like, I think, as you say, like, I'm in quite a lucky position compared to quite a lot of people. And when you say that, of course, like, people are in a lot worse a position. But I just think with everything that's happened with COVID, I think we kind of all knew this was coming, but I didn't think it would be this bad.
Yeah.
Shop as smart as possible, whether it's going to a supermarket towards the end of the day and have more reduced prices, or going to some more budget supermarkets. The quality of the food in some of the budget supermarkets is actually considerably higher than some people think. But unfortunately there will be households that are having to choose between food and energy in the winter. I mean, the winter is really going to be, the issue is really going to be compounded quite significantly.
I mean, I think it's trying to manage where you can be less frivolous as possible. But apart from that, it's just like, hopefully this is a short-term thing. Though there could be a recession as well, which means it might even get even more tough.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The tips are, what I try to do is just make sure I am comfortable with what I'm doing. I don't have debts apart from a mortgage, and I try and keep it simple when it comes to financial healthcare. But everyone has a different circumstance, so it's really hard. I mean, giving tips is, you really got to know people's circumstances,
Yeah,
right?
of
For
course.
that, and
Of course.
it's impossible. I just try to keep things simple and make sure I don't have too much debt on me. Plus, I'm quite old, so I've only got about 10 years left.
Is your Netflix subscription an added luxury? Maybe, but it's also not going to make any difference if you give up that very small subscription to the general cost of living crisis. What's going to make a difference is the government putting a stop to the increase in VAT, a stop to the ridiculously high tax on petrol. Inflation the rising inflation is a pretty difficult subject to tackle. There's no easy solution for it, absolutely. I don't expect the government to come up with the perfect solution, but stopping national insurance rises, stopping duty on fuel going up so quickly, and also I think the government just have a responsibility generally to not make such flippant comments about reducing your subscription to Netflix and avocado on toast, which has become a sort of joke of the whole thing. But I don't think that's going to help at all.